Hey everybody, what's going on? It is your two favorite dads, your digital daddies, your online in-laws, your podcasting papas. It's gone
Yeah.
old school again. It's me and Dan taking things
Hey.
back straight back to 1985,
Hey.
which I think that might be the first time or the earliest I can go when we were both alive.
I wasn't alive yet.
1986.
Not alive.
Well, that I'm going to stop then because I'm seeming older and older with that. Okay, so anyways, we've decided to pop on here, record one of these loose fit, relaxed episodes that we used to do where they could just kind of ramble all over the place and get this out of our system, touch base with a friend and see how life is and
Yeah.
just make some content because that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, buddy.
So for now, we are going to jump right in. And I just want to say, Dan, Jack has started treating me and Gloria differently. He behaves around me. He obeys me. He doesn't really whine when I tell him no. Everything's the opposite with her. It's all a
Ooh.
task. What's your experience with that? You got anything going on like that at your house?
Yeah, it's just the opposite though. Usually, well, in my case, not usually, but in my case, where my wife's home with our daughter all the time, she, doesn't listen to her very often. But when I come home where I'm working, she listens to me for the most part. So it's the same as in our kids listen to the dad more so than the mom, but it's opposite because you're the stay-at-home parent and I'm the working parent in each of our situations. So it's a little backwards when you said that. I was like, huh, okay, but hey, every kid's different, every parent's different. But yeah, shoot, we've been going through that for good God, I don't know, a long time. I've lost count of how many months that's been going on. So what do you want to know?
It's just it really bothers obviously Gloria more than me because he's pretty much behaving for the most part with me.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, I guess, is there anything that Libby does to kind of, I guess, stay sane, or is there a technique she uses to try to guide her back to more of a neutral kind of behavior?
Um. Yeah, I think she tries to reason with her, like tell her, explain to her why she's telling her what she's telling her, like if it's no, or if it's hey, do this, or this is why I'm telling you no, this is why I'm telling you to do this. Like a good example, um, during Halloween and even now with the holiday season coming to a wrap, the whole candy thing, we don't give her 17 pieces of candy at once. We kind of, okay, you can have one now, and then you got to wait like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you can have another one, and then wait a little bit longer than last time, and then you can have another one. And then after that, it's like, okay, no more for a couple hours or an hour. That way you can kind of burn off some of that sugar that you just took in and not be bouncing off the walls for the whole day. So like Libby will tell her, no, you can't have any. And then she, of course, no, I want candy. And then she'll kind of tell her, hey, she'll fight, quote unquote, fight with her. No, you can't have any right now. Wait, 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 wait. And then she'll just tell her, hey, you got to wait. And then as far as like, well, that's not really like reasoning with her, explaining her, but to her why, because she doesn't really understand that sugar makes you go bonkers sometimes. But that's kind of the way you have to wait. I told you because I kind of like because I told you so. But in that example, but with me, like I'll tell her no, you have to wait, and she'll be like, no, I want some more. I said, Madison, no, I said no, you have to wait. And then I just kind of, if she starts going on about it, I don't ignore her because I can hear her. I can't tune her out, but I just kind of let her do her thing. And, if it goes on for too long, I'm like, hey, what did I tell you? And when I say that to her, it's kind of like the dad voice, like, what did I tell you? I said no, no is no. And she pouts and goes on about her day. But yeah, that as far as the candy thing, now like picking up her toys, that's a whole nother animal. We both try to reason with her. That's not gotten through on either of our parts, so she doesn't listen to us on that. That's another example of like, hey, you need to pick up your toys because we're gonna trip and fall or whatever. They're in the way because she loves to leave everything right where you're gonna walk. I don't know if your son does that too, but that's kind of the reasoning aspect of it. On the other side of that coin, that, like I said, she still doesn't listen to us, either one of us, that well on that. I try to go one step further and be like, hey, help me. We've talked about this a little bit, I think, in the past. Help me pick up your toys. I'll pick up this half, you pick up this half, or whatever. And that, if I have to start doing it before she'll like do it, but I wish it was she would do it and then I could come down and start helping her. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, I just try to, where she deals with her all day, I can tell where she gets frustrated. Like maybe she's tried the whole, hey, no, or hey, it's in the walkway, you're gonna trip, we're all gonna trip. Maybe she's tried that 5 or 6 times and it's still just a fight. And she just, that's when she gets a little short. And then, I do it too. I'm not, I'm just as guilty as her for being short and kind of hateful when stuff doesn't go right. But that's kind of where I step in when I get home from work. I give her the break that I give her, quote unquote, not really give her, but she can go and, go outside and take a breath and play around on TikTok or whatever she does on her phone. And, I'll take her and kind of give her that, quote unquote, give her that time away. I feel bad when I say give her or let her. Like, I feel like I'm cracking the whip, like, oh, you can't do it until I say so, but that's not the case. But yeah, she gets her break, and then when she's kind of decompressed and calm down a little bit, she'll come back in, and I get my little break or whatever. So that's kind of what we do with that. But yeah, she still doesn't listen to her very much, and still there's other stuff she's like, no, I'm not doing that when I tell her. So it's a juggling act for us still.
Okay. God, fuck me. I tried to get all those throat clears in the mute, and then I unmuted halfway through. I'm so unprofessional. So it's pretty much exactly the way we do it. Or for all intents and purposes, whether that's intentional or not, that's how we do it. I've talked to one other guy, I think one other guy that I remember anyway about this, and he, it happened with him too. He basically just like his whole way of handling it was more a matter of, I guess, mental toughness. I feel like I'm using that word a lot, or those two words a lot lately, but he didn't really have any technique. It's just that he had 6 kids at this point, and he had done it enough to know that what he was doing was working, and it was going to work, and no matter how bad they complained or whatever, because right now he is Libby, he is Gloria in his life. So they aren't really listening to him, they aren't really paying attention to him that much, and he is affected by it. But he knows that from past experience, if he just keeps on keeping on, that it'll come back around. It may even change 180 to where they are ignoring the mom or whatever.
Yeah.
So and also, like, something I tried to tell Gloria is they are young still, but they are people, and just like you or me, we treat people differently. Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure with your mom and dad, you've got a different relationship with each of them.
Yep.
Maybe you're more liberal with your mom. Maybe you cuss around her all the time, whereas with your dad, you don't ever cuss or something, something like that. I don't know.
Right.
But I tried to tell her that it was, just a matter of, he reacts to you because you are who you are, and and maybe you're more loving or whatever, and that makes him feel like you can get away with more.
Right.
But
another thing real quick is, I think it's a mom thing, to be honest, not to down on the moms, but like they're closer, quote unquote, because they carried the kids. So I think it's kind of like a, hey, I can get away with this. It's not something they think about. Like, it's just in their subconscious. Like, it's in the back of their head or it's ingrained in them or something like that, that, hey, you know, mom is the end all be all, because they don't know yet until they go through that class or they learn about it. But mom is the one that carried me. Mom is, the one that protected me while I was forming and all that. And they, there's a more connection, so to speak, with the mom. That's why they bond so quickly. I think, to also another thing that I think we both struggled through when they were first born. It took me a while to bond with my daughter, and you're shaking your head, so I assume it took you a little bit to bond with your son.
Sorry, listeners.
No, it's fine. But I think it's kind of along that line too, or they think they can get away with a little bit more with mom than with dad. But I'm not. I can't.
Probably got.
Not a doctor, but that's just me using other examples of that, like the whole bonding thing, and the it's kind of like innate or whatever.
Yeah, that probably has a little bit to do with it. I mean, just throughout time, there's been I guess a trend of moms being more maternal and caring and loving and what have you. And we know from dating that if you give like that a lot, that people will sometimes take advantage of you.
Yeah, so, for sure.
So it is just the same with raising a kid. If you give and give and give, then they're going to start taking and taking and taking.
Yeah.
But that does lead me into a different thing that you may or may not have anything to say. And if not, then we'll be moving right on by. But Jackson has taken to hitting. He will try to hit Gloria. He will, he does, like, I guess he tries to hit me, but it's so ridiculous what he's doing that it's like I hold up my hand and wait for his arm to come in contact. Mm-hmm. So it's not really even a hit.
It's like blocking that punch.
Yeah. I guess maybe he's doing something. Yeah. Like he even, it's almost like he claps his hands and then draws back first or something.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe he does it a little bit differently with her, because he's actually made contact with her more than once.
Dang.
So is this just a young boy thing, or do young girls go through this?
Yeah, we've gone through it a little bit. It's more, what the hell? Oh, sorry. It's more of a, she does it when she gets mad. She'll not like haul off and try to hit you, but like she'll flail her arms and, start kicking her feet. And I mean, she's kicked me in the chest. She's kicked me in the junk. She's kicked me, in the stomach. She's kicked me in the face, hit me in the face. Like, it just, cause she's mad and she's just flailing and throwing a fit. But as far as like hauling back and trying to hit me, like what I assume what you're talking about, out of the blue, kind of, no, she doesn't do that. She does it more with the dogs, which is kind of weird, because we've been from day one, hey, no, you can't do that to the dogs. You need to love the dogs. And I mean, she doesn't do it all the time, but like today she got a doctor set, and it had, I think, like the thing you hit your knee with to check your reflex. It had a plastic one, and she was going over to the dog. Now, granted, she was trying to play doctor with it, but she was like tapping her on the head. And I'm like, hey, no, you can't. She wasn't like wailing on her, but she was just, tapping real lightly. And I was like, hey, no, you can't be hitting the dog. Like, don't be doing that. So it's kind of that. She's more now like she'll grab this is horrible, I shouldn't laugh, but she'll grab like the dog's paw and won't let it go. And the dog's like, yeah, give me my arm back, and or my leg. And we have to, hey, let go, don't be mean. Like, it's more of that kind of thing, but that's not an everyday thing. I think I saw her do that like a few weeks ago, and then just now had to tell her, hey, don't hit on the dog, like, I don't know, a couple hours ago. But it's not really a big thing with us unless we piss her off, which, yeah, we do that at least 3 or 4 times a day, at least,
Yeah. With Jack, it is more when he's angry. He doesn't just out of the blue hit her.
Okay.
It's because he wants something that we won't give him. Oftentimes he's also tired too. But the fact that he's hitting it all, I was just curious if that was something you had, because I mean every kid's going to start it. So it's not like I'm like, oh my God, my son's hitting. It's just are you dealing with it, and how are you if you were? Because we are just, we're.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm saying we're just taking it as it comes, and obviously telling him no.
Yeah, that's what we're, hey, you can't do that. That's not nice. That's what you need to be a good girl, stuff like that. Like, you know,
the
that's,
basics when it
yeah,
comes to
hey, yeah,
hitting. Yeah.
it's not nice. Don't do it. Keep your hands to
Yeah.
yourself, that kind of,
Yeah. We
that's
tell
all.
them not to hit.
That's all you can really do. I mean, because if you resort to physical violence when they're hitting, then they're just gonna think it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm not, I've swatted a few times on the butt, but that's last resort for me. But it's never been for hitting. It's been for, hey, you're not listening or whatever, or you did something I told you 17 times not to do, and I'm tired of it, kind of thing. But yeah, we don't. That to me is just it's just going to reinforce that behavior. So I don't even, when she starts hitting, I don't even think, hey, I'm going to smack her back or I'm going to kick her back or whatever. No, because that's just going to make her do it more.
Well, I mean, I'd always heard growing up that, like, oh, my son bit me until one day I bit him back and then he stopped. So I
Yeah.
guess really,
Hey,
if so that happened to you.
yeah, I bit my mom twice, and on the third time, she bit me back right here, somewhere on each one side where I bit her. Not hard, not to break skin, not even to leave a mark, just enough to, hey, that hurts, stop, and I never bit her again.
So maybe next time he like hits Gloria, she just needs to like draw back and punch him as hard as she can in the face, and then he
Maybe,
won't hit her again.
maybe
I don't know.
it's the
Just to
whole
go,
drinking.
just to go.
It's the whole drinking bleach and shit to make you immune.
Yeah, I was gonna say that just to take it back real old school.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody should listen to those early episodes. If you did, then oh man, like I feel like I really do hate that we have those because so many people are like, well, I'm going to listen to it maybe, but I'm going to start at one, and then they start at one, and they're like, oh God, this is awful, and then they never come back and see that we like progressed and changed and whatnot.
Yeah, but if they can't
But
get our sense of humor, like you can obviously tell in those that we're joking and stuff like that, then you know,
that was back when we were recording on one track, and like I could
yeah,
only like edit certain things.
yeah.
Okay, so we I guess can transition on into the more fun part of the episode. The I don't know, our top fives, because it almost seems like we have five of them. So I guess how many do you have? You said three.
Yeah, I've got three. If we need to, if we need all of them.
So if we need them all, then we'll go ahead and start with you though, since if we need them all, we'll alternate.
All right, let me pull it up here. All right, my top five. This is we were talking a little earlier. This is the one I not threw together because I've been thinking about it for a little bit. But the top five songs I jam when I feel down or depressed, like on my way home from work or when I'm outside smoking, or if I'm whatever, if I'm just down or out, down and out, or depressed, or not really pissed off, because these aren't like rage songs, but not Rage Against the Machine, but like raw rage. But yeah, top five songs I jam when I feel down or depressed. Number five, I Am the Highway by Audio Slave. I don't know why. Chris Cornell is, I don't know, man. He's my Kurt Cobain. I like Nirvana and all, but Audio Slave slash God, why am I drawing a blank?
Soundgarden.
Yeah, Soundgarden. Sorry. Wow. Whew. That's a bad. Yeah, Soundgarden slash Audio Slave. That's my Nirvana. So yeah, I Am the Highway just speaks to me. I have no idea what the song's about. I've been trying. That's on my list of songs to analyze, but I don't even have a handle on it yet. I kind of do, but not really. But that's number five. Number four, this is kind of a certain mood when I'm down and depressive, something, but it's just one that I always gravitate to. You're No Different by Ozzy Osbourne. Throwing a little
I've not
classic
heard that one
rock
before.
there. That's a good one. Basically, when somebody is putting you down or whatever, he's basically saying, "Hey, you're no different than me. Like you do the same shit I do. Why are you putting me down?" Kind of thing. That's how I feel about it. It's a good one. It makes me feel better when I'm down and out. Number three, we broke this one down. This has got to be on either, if you like this kind of music, it's got to be on your list somewhere. Down in a Hole by Alice in Chains.
That's a good one.
Classic. It is what it says. You're down in a hole, like you're down and out, depressed. Third or number two, this one's crept up recently, where I've seen them live a few times. Now twice now, actually. World Keeps Spinning by Theory of a Dead Man. It's kind of a newer track from them, not like recent, but it's not, I Hate My Life or Bitch Came Back or anything like that, any of those classics. But yeah, World Keeps Spinning. It's kind of I don't know. I don't know why it would be, but it hits me. A lot of the lyrics, the way he puts them together and the way it's constructed, the way it flows together, it kind of hits me. Basically, world keeps spinning. Even though you have problems, the world's going to keep spinning. So you just got to deal with it. And this song, number one for me, is my all-time favorite song, period, end of story. I can listen to it when I'm pissed off, when I'm down and out, when I'm happy, any kind of emotion, and it'll bring me kind of back to center. Buried Alive by Avenged Sevenfold. It's just we've talked about it before, I think. That's my back to center song. It's if you've never heard it, go listen to it. Starts off with a really acoustic, clean guitar, and then the chorus kicks in and goes back to clean, back to heavy, and then it stays heavy for the end. But the opening, like 3 or 4 lines, just really speak to me. I'm not going to recite them, but yeah, they just speak to me and make me, when I hear that first, it starts with like I said, that soft acoustic clean, and he does like a slide, and you can hear like his fingers moving on the strings. And just when I hear that, I'm just like, oh yes, please let me shut up, leave me alone. I close my eyes, I lose all cares, and yeah, it just brings me right back to, at least not as bad as I was. So most of the time, though, it will bring me right back to where I need to be.
Right on. That's a really good list. It made me realize that I am both unable to create one of my own that fast, and that if I were to create one, it would have to be much more narrow, like top 5 Avenged Sevenfold songs I listen to when I'm down, or at the most, like top 5 country songs that I listen to when I'm down. I couldn't. There's no way I could narrow it all down to just 5. It just in this period, this short period of time, that would have been beyond me and my mental acuity. But that's a good one. And I will go back when I go back through. I've already forgotten now because how forgetful I am. But when I go back through, yeah, I will be sure to mark those down, or at least the ones that I had forgot, and give them a listen, because it's been a while since I've even listened to that Avenged Sevenfold song. I know which one you're talking about, and I've heard it many, many times, but off the top of my head, I can't remember virtually anything about it. I keep wanting to think that you, even before you said it, I was like, he's going to say Avenged Sevenfold, and then he's going to say that I can't even think of the song, or the song title, but it's like something with line in it. Like the chorus is like, take me
Danger
to
Line.
Danger Line. Yeah,
Danger
because
Line.
I remember that it was something
that
didn't rhyme with anything else in the song. I was like that. The actual the end of the chorus is what made me not like the song, because it's just like everything's kicking, everything's rhyming, and then get to the end of that chorus and they're like Danger Line, and I'm like, you couldn't take the time to rhyme something with line? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway,
same album though.
Yeah. That's probably what made me think about it. So, okay, good. Like I said, good list. And I will try to come back later on. I don't see why. I mean, we don't have to do these every week, but when we do, we can have a few top 5s. Everybody loves top 5.
Yeah.
And it's not something I'm going to be able to necessarily cut into a clip, because, I mean, we talk about each selection. But,
yeah,
the people that do listen, that they could give their opinions if you want. And, do that anywhere. By the way, you've got you can hit me at Corey Wayne 33 at Proton. I can't remember the rest. Maybe it's proton.mail, or I don't know. Google it. Dan's got an email that you would never be able to decipher. So just look for him on Facebook.
Yeah.
We're all over social media. Leave us your thoughts on this when it
give
comes
us your
out.
own top 5s.
Yeah, give us your own. from or of a different topic, and then I can tell you
Yeah.
how bad it is and come up with one that's better when this comes out a month and a half from now. So as far as I'm going to do it in reverse order of how I have it written down because it just seems more appropriate to do the first one last. So my first top five is top five professional wrestlers of all time.
Ooh, I thought
And
of this, or my favorite wrestlers. I thought of that one, but
this is definitive for anyone that's curious. This is what they call in comic
uh,
books canon. So
mm,
if you're wondering what the top five is, like you were going to Google it or whatever, it's gonna link to this in some way, form, or fashion. So number five, we have Sting from basically WCW, NWA, a little bit sprinkle in some AEW there, but Sting definitely belongs on the quote unquote Mount Rushmore. There's five, so
so
it's not
so
not the real
colorful
Mount Rushmore.
blonde haired Sting or NWO
Just
Sting?
just Sting. That's why he's on here because it's Sting all
Okay.
across the board because
Okay, cool.
he's done so much
Oh yeah.
throughout his
No, I'm
career.
not arguing. I'm just wondering. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I could necessarily. Um, I guess I could rank the Sting incarnations because he also had like a Joker incarnation, and
Yeah.
he's had the no face paint Sting. So
Yeah.
that's something to look into. Top five lists are addicting. That's why
Yeah, man.
all these websites, like they all have this clickbait where it's like top 10 this and top 10 that. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to waste your time with no top 10, but because you can read a lot faster than I can talk. So number four, we've got John Cena. I hate to do it. I don't like him.
Wow.
I'm not a fan, but his length of time spent in wrestling, his time spent on top, his quick journey to the top. It seems like he was thug life for like 6 months, and then suddenly
Yeah.
he was you can't see me,
Yeah.
14-time world champ.
Yeah.
So, but that, and then you combine. I don't know if you can hear that, but I keep hitting this spring with my pen. Anyways, I'm sure that'll come out in editing. Somebody will fix that. But you take his wrestling career and you combine it with the work he's done for Make a Wish. I think he's done more Make a Wish than any other person ever.
Yeah.
So that definitely puts him up here on my top five.
For
Number
sure.
three, we have Ric Flair, the Nature Boy.
Ooh. Woo.
Yep. And you could see we are automatically tightening up. Things are getting real in rarefied air, as they say,
Yeah, buddy.
as we reach here toward the number one. And I don't need to say much about Ric Flair. We all know who he is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's a lot of your lists out there that where he's number one. And as incorrect as that list is, that I can't argue with the fact that you have him there. He's a legend, and he's still alive. Still throwing chops every time Sting has a match.
And he's
like
gonna have
Sting's
one
little
more.
puppy.
He's gonna have one more match.
Yeah. So I'm sure that Flair will be there. Tagging along obediently.
I'm talking Sting and Flair. That's Sting's retirement match.
He's not going to wrestle Flair. Flair's just going to be there.
Oh, I thought he was wrestling Flair.
No, God, no. You think Revolution?
Yeah, it's next year.
It's him and Darby Allin versus somebody.
Oh, I thought it was him and Flair. My bad.
God, I can't imagine he carrying Flair through a match like that. Flair can't wrestle Sting. Sting's still doing dives to the outside. Number two, we have call it what you want, the immortal Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Ooh, yeah.
I've learned more and more about the man as time has gone on. He's not a good person. He would just as soon lie to you as tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But with that being said, he was on top of the wrestling scene for virtually half of my life.
Yeah.
And I can't deny the impact that he's had and the lives that he's affected. And I think that I sit perfectly content putting him at a strong number two. And I've made you wait long enough. I know that you've all been just eagerly wondering what number one was. And I'm not going to keep you in suspense anymore. Number one, greatest wrestler of all time. Best in whatever category you want to rank, I suppose you could say, is Christian Cage from AEW.
Yep.
And I think that everyone will agree with me that he is undoubtedly the greatest. He is the top heel right now. He's been the top heel at multiple times in his career.
Yeah.
Top face at a couple of times as well, and most of that time was spent in Impact and a little bit as a tag champ. But as a wrestler, as a commentator, as a talker on the mic, as a dad of the year, I just think you combine all that and you can't help but put Christian Cage #1, greatest wrestlers of all time.
Hey.
So that is one of my top fives. We will move on to yours. And I think we're going to go ahead. We'll probably be good with just your second one and then my second one, and we'll kick on out of here.
All right. Well, if we're gonna do that, then I won't do the sadder of the two for me anyway. I'll stick with the happy. All right. Well, yeah, we'll stick with the happy. Top 5 sports moments I'll always remember for me. So that is my top 5 list. I have an OLI, Super Bowl 44, New Orleans versus Indy, where New Orleans kicked the onside kick to start the second half. And sorry, Corey, but they beat Peyton Manning. But that's my, Drew Brees was my guy. Followed him at Purdue.
Can't
So
believe you remember what school he went to.
yeah, buddy, that's my guy, man. Other than
What if
Brady.
you already had kids back then?
All right, so now we'll get into the meat of my top 5. Number 5, 1998 NBA Finals Game 6, Chicago versus Utah, where Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the GOAT of basketball, no argument, period, stop, end of story. I don't care what you have to say. He won his what should have been 8th in a row, but the NBA made him retire for 2 years. That's a story for another day. But yeah, he won his 6th ring in a row for him. And yeah, it just solidified him as the GOAT, going 6-0 in finals. Number 4. These, I don't know, you might be a little touchy with these two, but whatever. Number 4, 1996 World Series Game 6. Oh, no, you'll hate this one. New York Yankees versus Atlanta Braves. Yankees won. That was my first time seeing any of my favorite teams win a world title. I remember it very clearly. Well, I at least remember what my dad did after I was only 6 at the time. That will give you your year that you were looking for in the earlier parts of this episode. But yeah, I don't remember the score. I mean, I could look it up and lie to you, but I don't remember the score, but I do remember it happening. And I remember my dad going outside and with the dog and screaming his head off in excitement. And I followed him and did the same thing. Sorry. That's 2 on here that you'll hate me for. Well, actually probably 3. But anyway, number 3, the 2009 World Series Game 6, New York Yankees and Philadelphia Phillies. They won their 27th title, last one as of late. That's, pretty self-explanatory for me. I was in college at the time, and growing up in New England, it was hard being a New York Yankees fan. And I was sitting in our dorm room, and they were flipping through the channels, and we were kind of partying. And it was the end of Game 6 when the Yankees won, and I ran down the hallway screaming, almost got in trouble, almost got rode up, and almost got my ass kicked because I was the only Yankees fan down the hall, and everybody else were Red Sox fans. So yeah, that was kind of memorable with me. Number 2, this is the sad part of this list. This one, the 2001 Daytona 500. If you follow racing at all, you'll know that is the Daytona 500 where we lost the late great Dale Earnhardt Sr. But the quote unquote bright side of that gave my favorite driver after that a chance to come into everybody's view. Kevin Harvick, he took over for Earnhardt after he died. So yeah, I will never forget that day. Mike Helton coming on the press conference afterwards saying, we've lost Dale Earnhardt, and we all just, oh my God, like what the hell? And a little bit of more sad news, that he died 2 days after my mom's dad. So my maternal grandfather passed away. So that was kind of shitty, but I'll always remember those, that's how I get those two. I used to get them mixed up, but I know he died first, my grandfather. So yeah. Anyway, that one's memorable for two reasons. And number one, Super Bowl 51, New England Patriots versus Atlanta Falcons, the greatest meltdown in football, Super Bowl, sports, probably history. 28-3, come back, go into overtime, first overtime game in Super Bowl history. Patriots have the opening drive, overtime, go down, score a touchdown. That's all she wrote. History books closed. Tom Brady's fifth ring. Yep. So yep, that's number one for me. I remember watching that with my dad. We were both sitting there telling each other, hey, if they would just do this or get, if they could get an interception here or make a stop here or whatever. And it seemed everything we said that they needed to do, it seemed like it happened. So yeah, that was pretty cool. It's kind of reminded me of 96 where we both went out screaming in the yard afterwards, but being from New England and Patriots fans. But yeah, that's my top 6 quote unquote memorable sports moments that I will never forget.
Yeah, those were so bad that I had to come up with my own real quickly because just based on time and the fact that I don't have years for these, I got 2 OLIs. The first OLI was the Colorado Rockies run to the title. They won 18, 19 in a row and then lost 4 in a row to the Boston Red Sox. They had nearly a month off because they won so many in a row.
Yep.
I was super into that. I was living in Denver. It was really exciting time. Right after that, literally, I think right after that, maybe a year or 2 years, something like that, the Denver Nuggets made a run to the finals. And I actually can't remember who they lost to.
Is it LA? No, it wouldn't be LA.
Well, actually, it was the Western Conference Finals, and they lost to LA.
Yeah.
And I don't know if LA went on to win because I stopped watching at that point. But yeah, that was the year, I think the first year that they had Chauncey Billups. They'd gotten him from Detroit, and he was, finally getting mellow, kind of under control, and it was just great times. So to move into the top 5 real quickly, top 5 was when UT beat Alabama in 2022. That was, it didn't really mean anything necessarily for the year as a whole, but it was a really exciting game for me. I remember it being super, super exciting. Mm-hmm. So number 4, we've got, and this has its own cliche title, but I don't remember what it is. But the number 4 is the Miracle in Nashville when the Titans threw that whatever they call it when you throw it straight down the line of scrimmage, and he caught it.
A lateral.
Yeah, through the lateral, and he caught it and ran it. And some people said it was on, it was forward lateral, and he ran it all the way for the touchdown, and they ended up making it to the Super Bowl where they finally lost to the Rams. That was the one
by 2 yards or something like that.
Yeah, it came up short by a yard or 2.
Yeah.
Number 3, we've got the 95 MLB champion Braves. That was the first time they had won a championship in my life. I think first time in decades. But they had, they'd been there in 92, I think it was, and come up short. And then maybe even 91 too, because they lost to the Blue Jays at least once. I remember hating the Blue Jays so bad. Maybe the Twins too. But anyway, they won in 95. And then my number 2 is the Braves 2022 championship. And then my number 1 sports event of my lifetime, we'll just stick with my lifetime. And this is all very compact because I didn't really care about sports enough prior to this. But number 1 is when Hogan turned and created the NWO.
Ooh, yeah.
And that was not necessarily, sport, but it was professional. And it was a complete surprise, and it changed the world, and it changed wrestling forever. So I had time to make my own little top 5 there. It ended up a top 7 because I was like, oh, wait, I forgot about UT. And then, Braves 2022 isn't number 1. Hogan is. So moving on real quickly to my top my last top five, and that's top five dad stuff.
Ooh.
And it's just in general top five things that you typically associate with a happy dad.
Hmm.
And these don't necessarily come with too much description, so I'm just going to hit them pretty quickly here. Number five, we've got fresh cut lawn. Dads love a fresh cut lawn. They love the smell of it.
Yep.
They love having, a neatness out front and everything being in its place. Number four, dads love quiet. We deal with, our kid, work, our significant others all day long. And there are times when we just need it to be quiet. And
Yeah.
when we get that, we tend to cherish it. So that's definitely top five dad thing. Number three, top five dad stuff, dad thing, dad activity is nostalgic buys. Dads are all the time buying, that model 1965 Mustang that they love so much, or that Superman that they weren't able to get for their 12th birthday, or whatever the case may be. You're out here as an adult, you're 35, 40, whatever the case may be, and you've got some dispensable income, and you are gonna spend it on, some stuff that for you, some stuff that you remember from your childhood, or that takes you back to a better place.
Hey,
I've got
in our later segment, I have one of those. So nostalgic buys. So stay tuned.
If you were able to look around me, you would see that I'm full of that sort of thing.
Yep.
So number two, dads love a good set of tools. We love to have a tool ready for whatever might come our way. Even, whether you are a mechanic, whether you are a carpenter, whether you are an accountant, you love to have a good set of tools that you can immediately go to, and you can tighten that chair leg or hammer that picture frame in the wall, or whatever the case may be. We just love being useful and having that, like, it's almost like having weapons. They just make us feel strong.
Yeah.
Number one top five dad thing, coffee. Man, dads love coffee.
True.
We just can't get enough. We drink so much of it that it doesn't even help us anymore.
No.
We just drink it because we are addicted to the idea of drinking coffee.
And don't want to get a headache.
Yeah. I drink it to avoid a splitting caffeine headache. So you can't get away from coffee as a dad, and love it or hate it, most of us do love it. And it is quintessential dad. And I've talked to enough dads to know that if they don't have their own company, they're definitely buying coffee regularly from some other company.
Oh yeah.
So that's number one in my top five dad stuff. So
good list.
If you, I was actually reading previous to our interview, the timer in the top right hand corner counted down to 0, and when I said we would skip your last one, it was like I didn't know that it was actually counting up. So if you want to get that one out of the way, we can. If you don't feel like going the sad route, all right, go ahead and knock out your last top five, and then we'll move on to our. I actually got I don't have a dad joke, but I have a joke that I had picked out for just in case I had another episode by myself. So cool. I'll share that one too. So cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, this one I won't give too much explanation. I'll just tell you kind of what they are and all that, and you'll understand from my previous list why these are here. Top 5 sports moments I want to forget. So here we go. Number 5, Super Bowl 46. New England lost to the New York Giants for the second straight time. That's self-explanatory. Number 4, 2017 ALCS, where those cheating fucking Astros beat the Yankees in Game 7 for banging on trash cans and having a buzzer under their fucking uniform. Sorry, but anyway, yeah, fuck the Astros. Number 3, Super Bowl 42, the first time the Giants beat the Patriots, made them go 18-1 instead of 19-0. Self-explanatory. Number 2, the 2004 World Series, where Boston broke the curse. And you would think that would be number 1, but no. The 2004 ALCS, where they came back from down 3-0 against my Yankees, and were the first team in MLB history to do it, or probably not sports history because it happens in hockey quite a bit, it seems like. But yeah, anyway, they came back down 0-3 and went on to win 8 straight and to win the World Series. And yeah, that sucks. I'd like to forget all those. Wish they never happened, but hey, here we are.
That time was not an act or not intentional. I'm glad that most of you didn't see me embarrass myself, but some, like 5 of you, will watch this video and you'll actually see me try to talk while I'm muted. Anyway, I was saying there to myself that most of those were actually very memorable, very good, positive moments. Those I
Yeah.
remember specifically those 2 times that the Giants beat the Patriots. Those were wonderful days. Just like those were celebratory. I don't know why you would have those on days you'd want to forget.
Well,
Those were
I'm a
just great.
Patriots fan.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't know why. I think the
Because I lived
just
there for 20
I think it's just
years.
so hard for me to accept being a fan of the Patriots. It would be it's like people that say they're Cowboys fans, and I'm just like, but why? Like,
That's worse,
why?
though. That's worse.
See, I agree, but I just it falls along the same lines with me. I just don't understand.
See, at least the Patriots have had recent history. We don't have to go back 30 years to find Patriots dominance or wins or titles like you do with the freaking Cowboys. Like it's been since
That is
what,
true.
95? Like it's almost 28
Uh,
years ago. And they're
wow,
still,
you
oh,
remember
this is
better than I
our
do.
year. This is our year. No, 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 no. Just like this year. No, no, you suck. You can't beat good teams. You almost beat Miami, but almost doesn't count. You still suck. You're Cowboys. You're going to do Cowboy things, just like the Mets. Just like we talk about the Mets. I hate the Mets because I'm a Yankees fan. You hate the Mets because they're your rival or they're your Braves. The Mets are going to Met. The Cowboys are going
Yeah.
to Cowboy.
I think I hate the Phillies more than the Mets because I know the Mets are going to Met, but
Yeah.
The Phillies are more than likely going to beat us in the NLCS and then go on to at least challenge for the World Series. So, I have good reason, and what really irks me is that every time we get beat by the Phillies, we have the better team. At least, on
On
paper.
paper.
This
Yeah.
past year, we had 0 pitching, and I'm not going to get into that. But anyways, that was also a good one, and not at all sad like I thought. I thought you were going to be like, I mean, I'm the type of person that when I get a phone call, I'm like, oh, who died? So when
Yeah.
you were like, oh, this one's kind of sad, I was like, oh my god. So is this like top 5 times like his daughter has hurt herself or something like that? I'm like, what am I going to have to sit through here? Like, how sad is this going to be? So I'm glad that that was like actually more entertaining than tear jerking. And now we will, I guess, jump in here to the end. This is a lightning fast episode compared to some of the ones I've been doing here lately, but that's just how these old ones win, I guess. So let me pull up
You're
where
going to go
I
first.
have.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason to stop. We'll continue our trend of ending the episodes with a dad joke. This is just something that I had and can't find anymore. Is it there? There. That's not it. Did I not take a picture of it? You go ahead and go because I don't have it anymore.
Uh-oh.
um, and then
All right.
if I find it again, I will I will but before you finish, then I will say it. So go ahead with yours.
All right. So speaking of dad nostalgic buys, here we go. Dad joke championship
Right
belt. I had
yeah.
every one of these when I was a kid and used to have this stuffed Charmander that I would beat the shit out of and win belts. Anyway, we all did that as kids. Anyway, all right, dad joke. What do people from Boston call it when they get a good look at something? Do you need me to repeat that? Because it is kind of long.
Go ahead and repeat it. But it's not going to do any good.
Okay. What
Maybe
do people from go ahead.
I was just going to
What
say
do
maybe
people
somebody listening. Shit.
Sorry, man. What do people from Boston call it when they get a good look at something?
I don't know.
A propaganda.
Propaganda.
A propaganda.
Yeah, okay. All right. I could, yeah, okay. That one is better than the one I've got because I don't have one. And when I went back to try to find it again, it wasn't there. So for those that I guess we'll skip last episode, I'll just try to rehash an old one. If you've heard it, then it's a complete waste of time. But if you've not heard it, at least I get half a win. So this man goes to the doctor, and the doctor's examining him, and he says, "You need to stop masturbating." And the man says, "Why?" And he says, "Because I'm examining you."
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Love it.
so that one originally was worded better. I didn't use the same word twice, but that's the one that I used at the most recent interview. Um, Here's one that I was looking at that isn't very funny, but it is in line with a dad joke. A blind man walks into a bar and a table and a chair.
Yes.
And that's it. That's a joke.
Yes.
So that one, if nothing else, I came with two. So even if neither of them were good, then maybe both of them together were like half as good.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that reel I sent you the other day?
No, I accidentally deleted your thread because I was on the verge of sending you a text to Gloria, and that happens far too often.
Well, it was another joke. Since you went a little risque, I guess I can go a little risque too.
Right on.
Why don't they make pregnant Barbie dolls?
I don't know.
Because Ken came in a different box.
All right, that's a good one. I'm definitely going to have to put that one up there. I will likely avoid maybe both of mine. Maybe I'll hit the blind man. At least if it's roundly jeered, I can just say that it wasn't my joke. Somebody else came up with it. So
I mean, you don't write them. I write all mine, but you know.
Yeah, I don't write mine. I just steal mine. It's like when I steal reels from the Your Two Dad. That's not going to work here because this is Your Two Dads. But anyways, you know what I mean. So I guess that is going to do it here from us at your favorite daddy podcast. We are all dad all the time and veteran most of the time. So we hit two different angles on life. And, if you don't fit into one of them angles, then, listen anyway, because we're funny.
Yeah.
And if you listen this far, then I don't know why I said that at all, because you're just going to listen again. You're hooked already. Yeah. I don't know what it is that we did, but you're here. You're like a fish in our net. You're not getting out. I don't eat fish though, so you're lucky. I'm just going to put you in a tank and keep you there for validation.
Yeah.
So I can look at you, my fish tank, and think, yes, you're my forever fan, like some kind of sick psycho kidnapper. So on that, I guess I had so much other stuff. Like now that we're at the end, I'm remembering we were going to do like a dad update and, like where we are at and our dad lives and all this stuff. So much for that.
Yeah.
If you're not already, follow us wherever you most go to, because we're likely there, unless it's X or Threads or Blue Sky, because we're not in any of those places.
No.
But anywhere else you might go to waste time, you're going to find us there.
Oh yeah.
And some stuff I've actually started posting a couple things, that didn't go everywhere. So if you like more of a personal touch, follow the Facebook page or the Instagram, because the the others, they don't always get like more of the family type reels. But other than that, rate us 10 stars, rate us twice.
Yeah.
Rate us 5 and then press OK and then go back in and do it again. Just to be sure it worked.
And so we're up to 12 on Spotify now.
Right on. We're right about 40 listeners on Spotify as well. So that's pretty cool. It's not like every listener listens to every episode, which by God you should. I don't know why you're not. But they just, they are slowly building up. So that's always a good thing to see. And I don't really pay attention to the numbers too much. Ever since that one reel went viral 2 times on TikTok, I've kind of stopped paying attention to the numbers, because I was like, oh, now I've got 500 followers. Like I'm going to have 500 views on every video. No, that didn't happen at all. It rose like maybe 10. I got like over 400 extra followers, or about 400 extra followers. And it rose about 10 average views per video. So I stopped paying attention at that point. This is just something that it's fun, and I'm going to expand into other things that are fun. Maybe if you get some time, you can. I haven't done the first episode yet, so I don't know how it's going to go. But as far as that ACW, if you get some time, maybe you can watch one of them pay-per-views in advance, and then when we get to whichever one you watch, you jump in and we'll do an episode there.
Sure.
I don't know how long that one's going to go. Don't know if it'll go long at all. These are all just kind of test shows that I'm going to do, and see if one of them catches my fancy. I don't expect any of them to really, leap into the stratosphere and make me $1 million. But, if one of them is fun to do, then I'll probably add 2 podcasts. I've got this one pretty well down as far as like the editing and everything. I've got my free time back. So, I'm ready to give that up again in the service of a second podcast. So we'll see, or a live podcast, whatever it is. I don't know if I do live or not. He definitely wants me to, and I definitely told him I would, but I don't know if I will. We'll see. Anyways, you guys all out there in Radio Land, you have a good Wednesday or a good whatever day you're watching this, and not to give out our secret, but Dan, you have a good weekend. And
yeah, man.
I guess I'll stay in touch. I sent you an invite for a show so far in January.
I think I got it. Yeah.
And I don't remember when it is, but if I don't see you until then, I'll definitely see you that day.
Cool.
So you take it easy, and I will check everybody later.
Yeah, check you later.
All right. And so that'll do it for our Spapple, our Spapple, our Heart Spapple listeners, our Spreaker Heart Spapple listeners. I don't know. I was trying to pull a Billy Gill there, but it just.
What do we live in Whoville now?
Yeah. Box and socks and fox and box.
Sorry, I watched way too much Grinch over the break.
Man, I watched hardly any Christmas movies. I was like, you're gonna watch Charlie Brown's Christmas, you're gonna watch a National Lampoon's Christmas, and I ended up watching I watched some of that one where it's like it's about the little boy, where I posted that thing on Facebook where I was like, I never knew that the dude from AC/DC was in this Christmas movie.
Is it A Christmas Story?
Yeah, Christmas Story. Yeah, I watched some of A Christmas Story.
God,
and that was really all I watched.
Well, I just hate that they put it on 24 hours. Like, I get it, it's a Christmas movie, but damn it, I want to watch all the Christmas movies, not just one.
Was actually, I know that they do that, and they may have done it this year, but I was surprised to see that they did that with National Lampoon's. One channel or another showed that for 24 hours this year too.
Wow.
So I'm sure that got on everybody's nerves. I'm actually looking forward to. I told Gloria this. I'm looking forward to the New Year countdowns, because they always have some pretty decent countdowns on like the radio and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I remember in particular when I was like, teenager, not even driving yet. They had I think it was top 100 songs ever, and I listened to like almost all of it.
Damn.
And it was like really early 2000s, or not even 2000s, really mid to late 90s, because My Own Prison by Creed was on there, and something else by Creed was on there too. They didn't even have their second album yet. It was Torn. Torn.
Yeah.
I have to listen to that now. I wish I hadn't sang that out loud. But anyway, their first album was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And,
is that My Own Prison?
I think that's the name of the album too.
Because Human Clay had Higher, and
and
that's about all I can remember from that one.
I think Arms Wide Open might have been on that one too. Anyways,
yeah, I can't remember.
After their first album, they became what people make fun of Nickelback for being, but in my opinion, Nickelback aren't.
No.
So
Nickelback is
I see why you would make fun of Creed after their first album. Although, with that being said, Higher, that was a good song. That
Yeah,
had some pretty good, jams.
still
But
gets
by and
radio
large,
play.
like, yeah, but it was also radio rock.
Yeah,
So,
true.
I could see them criticizing most of it. But,
Yeah.
overall, Creed still holds a special place in my heart. I saw that was like my first concert by myself. Well, not by myself. I went with a friend, but it was Creed and Seven Dust, and
Damn.
it was a good
What a
show.
pairing.
Yeah, I know, right? I actually went for Seven Dust because they were the opener, and then I was like, I guess I'll stick around for Creed because I don't have a ride home, and then I was like, oh wow, okay, this is why Creed closed because they were like really really good, and I guess that was probably they were probably touring for their second album, um, because that was it was Knoxville, so they were big, but they weren't too big.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, I guess I don't know. I'm struggling for things to give the YouTube listeners to keep them listening. So I guess that means it's time to call the cows home and head them up and move them out. I don't even know if those things go together, but
I don't either. I'm not a
maybe they
farmer.
do. Yeah, I'm not a farm. Well, it would be a rancher actually with cattle. If
That's true.
farmers farm.
Yeah,
That's
true.
different. So, I don't know if I don't know if I don't know even where those two things came from. I must have just been scrolling through Facebook and saw something about a Western or something. Anyways, that's how my mind goes. How's yours go?
Yeah.
You
About
guys
the
have fun
same.
out there. Yeah. I'm the type of person, like I said, I'll try to go to the bathroom and I'll end up sweeping the kitchen.
Yeah.
So that's just what I do.
Yep.
And then I wonder why my bladder hurts. But anyways, I guess for the second time, that's going to do it for us. Unless you got something that you had.
No,
All
I'm
right, well,
good.
you take it easy. I'm going to go in. I was a split second away from saying I'm going to go in here and watch the Grizzlies, but I'm not going to watch the Grizzlies. I'm not going to watch the 76ers either. All of my favorite NBA stars are injured right now.
Jaw's
So,
back.
yeah, well, he was injured the last game. Did he come back already?
Oh, I don't know. I watched some of these talking heads during lunch
Oh,
break,
yeah.
and they were talking about how they were 4-0 in the first four he was back
Yeah.
after
And
his
then
suspension.
he got like COVID or something, or the flu at least, and he missed a game and they lost it by like 30 points.
Chew.
I think they play tomorrow, and I think the Sixers play tonight, but not with Joel Embiid, so they'll lose by 45 or something like that. The Predators play, but the Predators are. Oh shoot, man! I keep forgetting. Oh, never mind, never mind. The Volunteers don't play until January.
January
Like fucking
1st.
college. Yeah, those fucking college teams taking fucking time off. Just
Yeah,
fucking
you
play
only got
games.
1, 2, 3 more days.
Yeah. You gonna watch the Vols against Iowa or Ohio or whoever the fuck they're playing?
Yeah, probably. We'll be watching it. I'm off Monday
Uh,
anyway, so
yeah, I'll definitely be watching it.
that'll be
I
on the
want to
big
see
screen, and then Oregon and Liberty will be on my phone.
Oregon and Liberty. Okay,
Yeah,
super
that'll
fan
be.
there.
I'll probably tune out of that during halftime.
Yeah, the Tennessee game is really only to find out how. Okay, here I'm going to give it my best shot. Nico Iamala. Never
Yeah,
mind.
Nico.
Yeah, how man, if I had it in front of me, I could probably pronounce it. But anyways,
I still get confused with Tua's last name. All right, I'm right there with you.
Tonga. I mean, we hear that enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, how old Nico is going to do? This is his first real game this season, and I mean, theoretically, you would think the most important, at least according to old school analysts.
Yeah,
Bowl games are supposed to be the big deal,
not
but
anymore.
not anymore. No, otherwise our quarterback wouldn't sit it out.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway,
Do you think?
hopefully they
Real
don't.
quick, do you think Milton will get drafted?
Well, I was looking today. Hendon Hooker got drafted to the Detroit Lions. So, I mean,
Yeah,
if
but
he
Hooker.
could get drafted,
Yeah, but Hooker
I
was
mean, yeah, he is
better.
better. Yeah, he was better. But I would think that I know for a fact that he's not going to get drafted early
No.
because, like I've heard enough to know who's going early.
Yeah.
But a couple quarterbacks, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
and maybe some like linemen or something like that. And so with that being said, if he's not going in the first grouping of quarterbacks, then he's probably going in like I wouldn't say the second, maybe the third grouping. So you probably get him drafted around the third round, maybe fourth round. So I even hesitate to say third round though, because that's when Hooker got drafted.
Yeah.
But I would think that somebody would pick him up, and then they're going to put him on their practice squad or something, and then he's never going to play.
Nope. Unless you get like Josh Dobbs getting traded to all these teams this year. Did you see that? Did you hear about that? Yeah. He started for possible,
I suppose.
He started for like 4 teams, I think, this year, or since like week 15 of last year. He's been started for 4 different teams.
Well, if you look at it, there's basically 4 good teams in the NFC, and then 3. It depends on if you want to count the Cowboys or not. That they haven't really beat anybody too good, but they are 10-5. So basically, like 1% of NFL is good this year, and I'm sure that at least some of that's because of injuries. So it makes sense that he'd be jumping around. It's kind of like he's kind of like a Tannehill type of player. He can manage a game for you, but he's not going to win a game for you really.
Yeah.
He's just, his best games are going to be no mistakes and making sure that somebody else is able to, like, whether it's your running back or whatever the case may be, like, someone else is going to win that game. It's not going to be Tannehill. It's not going to be Josh Dobbs.
No.
It's not going to be Joe Milton.
Nope.
But hey, maybe somebody will pay him more money than I'll ever make in my entire life. If they
I'm sure
good luck to him.
I'm sure he's already got more money than I'll ever make in my life from all this NIL.
Yeah, now that they do the NIL, that's crazy. Like, I've been listening to all these Locked On, volunteers, Locked On this, Locked On that, and they talk a lot about NIL and how it's not like college is now the NFL, because you can't keep players anymore because you're not going to pay them, and you can't pay them because you might, you get this, you might have a really good running back that, he's got a year left and you really need him and he really wants a lot of money. Well, you got to let him go because you can give that same amount of money to like 2 other people that are coming up that, might be good one day.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's really like they said that it was going to turn into a business and that this was terrible and that, all these things that at the time I was like, nah, boo, like, nah, boo, you're abusing these kids and you're using them and da 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 da. And now it's like, it's not the same. It's not the way it used to be.
It needs to be regulated.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's out of control almost. And it's really just going to come down to who, or like which school has the richest, people
Boosters.
going there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like, if you can pay more, then they're going to go there. Yep. And it doesn't matter. History won't matter. It won't matter about, Alabama being great for years and years if Alabama don't got the money. Georgia, I don't know what the situation is. Maybe Georgia does have the money, but assuming that they don't, then it won't, these years where they're dominant, they won't matter and they won't last because they just don't have the money to pay their players.
Yeah.
So that's sad to me. And I hate that it's like that. It makes it real hard to really invest a whole lot of energy into it because you just don't know how it's going to be from year to year.
Yeah.
And like the transfer portal used to be something I looked forward to where you'd bring in players, and now you've got like players that just like leaving like 6-7 at a time because they want to go to fucking Southeast State, Missouri or some shit because they're actually going to pay them $1 million.
Yeah.
And it's, whatever, man, more power to you, I guess. Like, you got to make your money, I suppose.
Yep.
But anyways, that's there you go, YouTube listeners. You got quite a bit more than I expected you to. So
there's your bonus. There's your bonus content.
Yeah, you got some sports talk, and maybe that will get this one more than 5 or 6 listens. I had stopped putting these on YouTube because, like, I'd get a reel that would get 1,500 views, and then this full length video would get 4 watches, if that. Like, who knows how long you have to watch to be counted as a view. I'm sure you don't have to watch very long.
Why not?
But
Or like a minute, I think.
yeah, something like that. So maybe somebody watches it, maybe they don't. If nothing else, it'll be on there, and eventually, more than likely, unless I change my mind, in which case this is just for you and me.
Yeah.
Anyways, you take it easy, and I'll talk to you sometime soon. Good luck with the puppy. I hope that it's in some shelter somewhere waiting for you guys to find it.
Yeah, hopefully. We got her chipped, so if she does get to a shelter, they'll call us.
Right on. Well, fingers crossed on that one. And
yeah, buddy.
And I guess until next time, I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Take it easy.